हमारा मदरसा अल-कुबा उसका कोई और मकसद नहीं है। मैं सिर्फ ये चाहता हूँ कि अहले सुन्नत के कुछ अफराद नौजवान तैयार हो जाएं, हमें बच्चे दें और मौलवी लें।
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली वस्सलातु वस्सलामु अलैका या रसूलल्लाह व अला आलिका व अस्हाबिका या हबीबल्लाह। Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome again to another weekly Friday reminder. I hope everybody's in the best of health and iman. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from the pandemic of the coronavirus. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us good health and long life so that we can have the opportunity to continue to do good deeds and gain the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ameen. Today I want to talk about sins and its effect. Now, what do I mean by sins and its effect? I mean that that what kind of effect does sin have on a person's life, and how he takes how he reacts to sin, or she reacts to sin. Now, what is sin firstly, and how is sin described in Islam? Let's look at what the Prophet ﷺ said about sin. The Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith that al-birru husnul khulq wal ithmu ma haka fi nafsika wa karihta an yattali alayhi an-nas. That righteousness is good character, and sin is that which shakens or causes unease in your nafs, in yourself, and you dislike that others come to know about other people. Now, we know that if any one of us do something wrong and we know it's bad, right, naturally we don't want other people to come to know of our sin. Why? Because when you yourself feel ashamed about it, and if other people come to know of it, then we know the outcome and the result is that people will talk bad about you, and then it makes you feel bad. So for that reason, that we always have to, even if we do make a sin or make a mistake, that we have to be careful, make sure that our sin doesn't get exposed, because as Muslims we all know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who forgives, is the most forgiving. And it is important to know and bear in mind that, look, that just because you commit a sin, it doesn't mean that that you become despair and despondent, because you know that Allah Ta'ala is all forgiving and all merciful. At the same time though, that we should not think and say that, oh, you know what, Allah is all forgiving, and this is quite common in our community, that a lot of people think that Allah Ta'ala is of forgiving and most merciful. He'll forgive me anyway, even if I make a mistake. No, because then there's a lack of sincerity in the person's heart. See, one has to be truly sincere and and honest about feeling bad about what he has done wrong. Because if a person just has this feeling and thinking that, oh, you know what, it's okay, if I make a mistake, it's okay, I'll make tawbah to Allah, Allah will forgive me. Yes, true, yes. If you commit a sin and you ask Allah for forgiveness and make tawbah, yes, Allah Ta'ala will forgive you, but obviously on the condition that you don't intentionally make the habit thinking that, oh, it's okay for me to continue to do that sin as long as I'm repenting. Because this is one of the traps of the shaitan as well, that the shaitan tends to deceive us, thinking, oh, Allah is of forgiving and most merciful, he'll forgive you for your sins anyway, so it's okay for you to carry on doing that sin. Na'udhu billah min zalik. No, we have to get this kind of false notion from our minds and not let the Satan deceive us. Now, how can one know how evil or bad a sin can be? Imam al-Ghazali, rahimahullah, he writes in one of his books, his final works, before they left this temporary work of Bidayat al-Hidayah, he wrote, and they gave an example of lies. For example, that if you want to know how bad lying is, look at the lies of others. If you see how other people lie, or if somebody lies to you, how would you feel about that? How would you react? Naturally, you would detest that person. You wouldn't like that person. You'd be upset, saying, this person, no, he lied to me. Why would he do that? Same way, that just as the way you detest lying from others, likewise we should detest lying within ourselves. And we should do this with all our faults, whether it's backbiting, bad language, or any other sins. The way to know that how bad that sin is when we see that sin manifested in other people. And inshallah, if we all do that, then inshallah, then this will be a stepping stone for us to slowly avoid sins. And inshallah, and it is important as well that we have to be in the company of good people who remind us of how bad that sin is. Whereas if we're in the company with the bad people, then what will happen is that then we get accustomed to that evil action, and then that evil action will become a part of our nature. So much so that, for example, if somebody backbites a lot, a person who continues to backbite all the time, and then if a person tries to tell the person off, look, your sister or brother, look, we should not backbite, it's a major sin. The person may say, oh well, I'm not backbiting, I'm just telling the truth. Yes, you might be telling the truth, but if the same truth was said about you, right, then you would not like that. So one should think that, look, that I'm a person full of sins and errors, so therefore I should not talk bad about other people. Likewise, this is how we should all have a thinking of about sins and how we can refrain from all these sins. Inshallah, if we act upon all this, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the tawfiq to understand the nature of sin and to refrain from sins, and may Allah ta'ala give us the tawfiq to be pious Muslims and to be practicing, to make us among those who practice what we preach. I pray that Allah ta'ala protect us from all kinds of diseases, whether spiritual or physical disease. And I just want to end by saying that please keep me in your du'as, and I hope everybody and stay safe, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.